as a test barrier for the upcoming generation. So we have decided to plan the alumni talk series wherein serial alumni can interact with the current students and guide them by sharing an open
Uh-huh.
feedback. On behalf of Indus
Right.
University, I
Now,
extend warm welcome to one and all present here for
anybody
today's
can
alumni
open the
talk on
link
the
for
how to build
scholarship. No.
programming portfolio step by
Now,
step.
for exam,
Today we are extremely pleased to have
exam.
very talented and senior
Yes,
alumni
anybody
Mr.
can
Vachal Shah
open,
from
but
Electronics
that
and
link is not
Communication
there on
branch
the website. No.
2012 to 2016 batch students.
See, you will
I
give
also
that
welcome
link to
Dr.
me
Ishbi Singh,
by
sir,
email
Director
only.
of IIT, Dr.
Yeah,
Vrushank Shasher, Head of EC Department, all faculty members, and the
we are
most
not
beloved
giving give
students
that
and
link here.
participants. Before starting, remembering the God before starting any event is our tradition.
Hmm.
So let us start this alumni
Right.
talk by a beautiful Saraswati Vandana.
Hmm. Right. Correct. But then the link is with us only. You know, that is a very long link. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Right. No, 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 I got that thing, but why we can't do the same thing with Google Form? Hmm. Other platform requires a very high thing and configuration and somebody who is this all the time after. Now, you know, yeah, yeah, I know, but at the end, I think so it is what matters is that we take the test. है ना, you and I'll suggest to have a two three sets and two three question sets.
Moving ahead, I
So
would
we
like to
keep on
introduce
hunting
Dr.
the
Vrushank
changing the
Shasher,
links.
Head of EC Department.
Okay,
He has
so
total
they will
13
not
years of
want.
teaching experience.
You have three
His
four
research
tests and
area of interest
every
are
time
network
you
and cybersecurity, communication system, and
yeah
image
yeah
processing.
yeah and
He has
change
published more than 10
the
research
next time
papers
if you're
and
taking it
peer-reviewed journals
test
and
A,
has
then
two
next time
patent files.
it will be
He
just
has
something
guided more
else.
than
So
10 MTech
even
students
that
and
way
right
they will
now
not
currently
fail.
5 PhD students are working under his guidance. Now I would like to invite Dr. Vrushank Shasher for his welcome address.
No,
Sir.
when you make a quiz here, no, in Google
Thank you,
Form,
Miloni madam.
then
A very good
everything
morning
can be
and
done.
warm welcome
Try it out.
to respected
Try
Dr.
it out.
Ishbi
If not, then
Singh sir, Director of
we'll
Engineering
we'll
at
do
Indus
the.
University,
But I have serious doubts that
and
website
speaker
will be
of
able to
today's
take
alumni talk,
Google
Mr.
exams
Vatshal Shah, who is
because it is
a
slow.
co-founder and CTO of
And
Speak
you
AI
have
at Canada.
your questions. ये नहीं हो
So,
रहा है वो नहीं हो रहा है.
today's talk,
For
which is
that
basically an
then I
alumni talk
seriously don't have time.
arranged on the topic how to build a
Because you see,
programming
I can tell
portfolio
you once, but
step by step.
if you're
So
stuck,
let us understand that portfolio, as you are aware that it is showcasing of your field of expertise
but
in a
you
particular
have
technology,
technical
right?
from your side, but I
So
have to honor it on a
as a
Moodle, no?
student who is
That
starting a
requires another
career
level of
as
expertise.
a
It's
programmer, it
not
is
a
very
regular thing.
crucial to
Do
build
this
a
and it is done.
portfolio of
We
personal
have to read
project,
because every time Moodle
especially
changes.
when
Now
you are
Moodle
working
has
in
been
the field
updated.
of
That's why you're not.
software or
It's not
programming.
professional
Okay.
now.
So you need to
No,
showcase
that
that
happens
what skills
automatically,
of
and then
programming
for that you need
you
to read,
possess, how good
you need to
you
go
are
through
as a
it, you need to
programmer, or
practice it,
how
you need to take
efficient or
trials.
how
All the
optimized your
it is there. I
coding
mean, I don't
skills
have
are.
IT power as well
So
right
basically, to understand the
now.
process,
Let
or
us see
you
how
can
it
say the
goes. If
systematic
it doesn't
process
work
of
out,
building
then
the
yeah, we'll switch back to what
portfolio,
you are saying. Even if
Department
they're
of
coming here,
Electronics and Communication is
I
utilizing
understand.
the
I understand.
expertise
When
of
I
our
suggested,
senior
Singh told
alumni
me like, what do you
student
want from
Mr.
Moodle?
Vatshal
But
Shah
Moodle
from
requires
batch
many
2012 to
challenges.
2016.
Many challenges.
So he will
So
be
anyway,
guiding us
we'll
towards
see.
various steps
And
of
you start doing it.
programming and how to build the
So I have
programming
one
in a
question set ready,
step-by-step
and
programming
let us see how
portfolio
it
in a
goes.
step-by-step manner. Okay. So
Okay.
before I hand over the podium to Mr. Vatshal Shah, let me give a brief introduction about Vatshal. So Vatshal is basically a software engineer with a proven track record in building high quality front end and back end development for complex, scalable web application and IoT development. So he is very much proficient in web programming languages and frameworks like Angular, React, Node.js, JavaScript, or
So,
MongoDB, MySQL, and
no,
AWS IoT kind
Moodle
of
तुझे
an
क्या करना है सर?
application. Okay. So today
हाँ
we
क्या
will be
करना है सर?
utilizing the
कितने तो छोटे
expertise of
right?
Mr. Vatshal Shah, and we will be learning that how the student who is starting its career can actually build its programming portfolio. Okay. So without wasting much time, now I would like to hand over the podium to Mr. Vatshal Shah for his talk. Over to Vatshal.
All right.
Yes, Vatsal, the virtual podium is all yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Manu, and thank you so much, Usang sir. It's my honor to be here. Can I go ahead and continue share my screen?
सुविधा?
You can
मारते
share
क्या
your
तो करो
screen.
हम तो करो ready छो
Okay.
बोले जो आंदो ना
One second.
हाँ print तो print भाई
Okay. Is it visible properly,
Yes,
or the different slideshow you're seeing?
yes, it is visible.
Just one second.
एक बजे गाड़ी तो बैठी के ताई थाकी कुछ बेचारा नौकरी भी जो कुत्तू कुत्तू ही आई होगा क्या करें
I don't think so. You would
चलो मैं
you
किधर
would be
देखती
able to see
पूछो
the full
यार
screen. Do you?
ठीक है साहब ठीक गड़बड़ से सब
No, we are not seeing the full screen as of now.
हेलो बड़ीता पेपर है प्रिंटर में है ना पक्का ना मैं प्रिंट दे रहा हूँ तो थोड़ा 5
Okay. Actually, I'm connected to the full screen, so I'll just.
5 में बात दो ठीक है थैंक
हाँ बाकी મને ખબર પડી જાય ને કરવા છું ને કે અહીંયા ઊંચા છે મેં કહ્યું ઉપર પડ્યો તો પપ્પા ના પાડે કે હવે મારે આ ઉંમરે મને તું ક્યાં લઈ
Yes, now it is visible.
Visible? Okay. Okay. Full screen, all good.
એમને પોતાના હિતમાં હોય તો એ નથી કરવા તૈયાર મારા મધર અત્યારે કીધું બોલો
Okay.
મને કે જા
Perfect.
લઈ
So,
જાઓ તો પ્લીઝ મને કે નામ
talking
મારું
about
પાછું
like how to
કરવા
build the
કેમ
programming portfolio step by
બેસવાનું ના
step.
રાખીશ
And
અત્યારથી બધું
you
લખવાનું
know,
કેવું
I
લખી
know
પોતાનું
everyone just wake up.
એટલે એટલા મારા મધર ફ્લેક્સિબલ
So I'm not
Yeah,
going to
we
talk
just
about
have to
any
always, right?
theories here. It's all going to be, you know, all the pragmatic steps you can take in your career. I hope you all have another good sleep
5 मिनट
before
आपको
coming to the presentation.
ચલો બતાવી
So the technologies I wish I knew to build, you know, my portfolio in the university, and that could change a lot of things, you know, in your career, and that's exactly what we are going to talk about today. So this is one of I did the, you know, sort of
क्या क्या बिल्डिंग है पढ़वा
same webinar before around the context, and like this is the one message I received on my LinkedIn, you know, from one of the students saying that he got the intensive, he built his own website, and that helped him a lot, you know,
પટેલોમાં
to
ત્રાસુ એવું
present
અમને વાંધો
what he's capable.
પટેલ યાદ નહીં
And, so,
પટાવતા
you know,
આવડો
at
છે
the
બધાને
hour or 2 hours of this webinar, we would be able to I expect one of you would, take an
જે
initiative
સીધી
to
રીતે
go
ના માને
ahead,
ઓલું જ બનાવવા પડે
build
ને
your
સરખું શું
website,
કરવું?
and put
હવે તે
things
જ્યાં સુધી
live
હશે ડિપ્રેશન આવી તો
on the
સુધી અહીંયા આવી
internet.
ગયો છોડી
So,
મારે ઉચકી લાવવા પડે ડિપ્રેશન આવી ગયું ફૂલ ટોટલ
so
રિયલ
what
ડિપ્રેશન
little bit about
એટલે
the
અમુક લોકો એવું હોય
background.
જ્યાં
So,
સુધી ભગવાન તમને
after
અડધું ના કરે
2012
ને
to
ત્યાં સુધી ના થાય
2016,
હું માણસો એમને
pursuing
માની
my
મનથી
PC.
એટલે
After
ત્રણ
that,
ને
I
મૂળ
built
ભેગું થાય ત્યારે માને
IoT home office automation system, and how did that help me
હવે પણ
is to
3-4
I spent a
મહિના
lot
થયા
of
હતા.
time in the university on the robotics and the
5-6
IoT,
મહિના થયા. પછી મેં કીધું
projects
એમને
and stuff.
મેં
And
તમારે સમજવાનું છે
the
દવા
task
લઈને
was given
સમજવાનું
me
દવા
was
વગેરે
like
સમજવાનું
an
સમજી
R&D
જાઓ દવા
task
વગર
to
તો વધારે સારું
the whole full package
એમને
solution
સમજણ પાડી
at
બીજો
the end of the 2
અમે
years.
છીએ
And the
તો મૂકી
technologies
દો.
I learned throughout the 2 years were like, Node, React, spent some time on the Zigbee to interconnect those, components. Then I went to the Canada for my, pursuing masters more in the software engineering, specialized in artificial intelligence, to know more about what to do with this data, how this data could be helpful, and spend time building the products like classification, clustering, recommendation engine, and stuff. And currently I'm associated as a co-founder and CTO with SpeakAI, and also been involved. You might have heard TEDx here too, so I'm also in a
કાંઈ
project
ઘરમાં જ
Strong
કંઈક
Way,
લોચો છે ને
and
કાં
also
પછી
doing various
ના કાં લાગે છે
communities.
ને કે કોકનો
So,
અનાદર
just
થયો
couple
છે
of
જે પણ
glimpse
થયું હોય
of, the time I spent at
કારણ કે આવી
US.
રીતના કોઈ હેરાન ના
Just to
થાય
recall a couple of
સખત એક
months
પતે ને
now,
10 દિવસ જ પતે ત્યાં બીજું આવી જાય છે
those are the correct days. So okay. So what is the outline? What are we going to talk about? Like what is the portfolio? What does that even mean?
તમે
What
પોતે
does
કરો
it include? The second is like the website. Why is it important? What does that even mean? To you as a fresher. GitHub for developers, and why I would encourage you to have the profile or do projects and upload on that.
કબ કબ ફંક્શન
Linking the different project sets
हाँ
which you can try
हाँ
if you're not aware of, and what are
हाँ
the next step.
कब
And I always like sort of
हाँ
the
हाँ ठीक है
sort of the CTA, sort of call the call to action at the end of
क्या करना है
the 1 hour we both are going to spend the all of. So what is the portfolio?
हाँ
So the portfolio includes, that could be your personal website, that could be your
क्या
blog,
करना
that could be your
हाँ
projects,
हाँ
that could be the research paper. And this is the overall idea about the portfolio, and that also includes a lot of other things, but that is part of your personal
हाँ
website. You can brand who you are, what you like, what you do.
हाँ हाँ तो आप तो
You know,
लेके आना
on your,
प्रिंट दे दी
you can
मैंने
send
आई
your
प्रिंट
any independent or freedom thoughts on your website as well. The blog is one of the
देखा
keys
नहीं
as well,
मैं प्रिंट तो दे दी
where you
थैंक
can
यू
talk about
आगे ना
the
थैंक यू
technology
थैंक
you build, the small
ફરી
projects
તો આવે
you
છે ને લઈને આવશે
build throughout your university,
લે તારી
and
10 આઈટમ
I
છે
believe like you have this
10 ઊંચી તારી પાસે લે
semester wise projects, and you of course can upload on
હા
your
સર થેન્ક
website
યુ
on different platform I'll talk about
આવી
in a
જશે
second.
હા હા
And in case if you have published or had
ના
chance
ફોલો
to
આપણે
work
કોઈને
on any research paper. On the continuation on that, you might have been part of any sports community. I think there's might be any
થેન્ક યુ
the cultural activity. So that is
आप
absolutely
कुछ
fine to
नहीं करना है
include that.
दोस्त
You should be proud of that as
हाँ मैंने
well.
कुछ नहीं करना
Because like in the market, it is not just the technical, it is about
नहीं
your
चाहिए
creativity. You can bring the value you can bring to the company, that is as important as your technical skills. The certificates all you are going to achieve, or you would achieve throughout your university career, so that is also as important as that. I would always encourage students to ask for the recommendations to your faculty, uh, to the head of department, or anyone you have been work or you've been involved with. So that would be great. And a little piece of the resume, which could be the Word or the PDF format as well. The education, as you are in the university 10 and 12, is as important as it is right now if you want to put on a portfolio on your website
क्या
to showcase your skills.
चलो
The skills that could count as a technical skill, first of all, the projects you work on, like the HTML, CSS, probably these are the very generic ones. Maybe Python, if you have got a chance to work with. So those are part of the technical skill. Another skill I like called the social skill, and in the social skill, you also can differently include like your things you can work at the same time. The complex problem you can solve on the statistical side or anything. The technology you are aware of, that's part of the skills. and sort of contact me. Put your email address, put your maybe the phone number if you're comfortable with on your portfolio as well. So these are the things which are as crucial as to have on your portfolio. And now what I'm going to talk about is like, okay, how to achieve this. Now you know that, okay, this is cool. Now what, right? What is next? So let's talk about the website first of all. And if you're in the software field, if you want to pursue your career in the software field, I think so this is the most important things to have for your website. And like there are so many no code solutions available right now, where you also don't need to be to be honest, like as crispy as on the technical end. You can use the no code to put the image, put the header, and I think so this image represent a lot of things, right? You can learn through the process as well. So as I said, you must have your own website. This is the place where you can demonstrate what you are capable of and what you can do, uh, with your capabilities, with your knowledge, with your expertise, as you're going to learn. uh, it is also important to, uh, when you don't have like paid experience. Everyone heard a lot of about, as a fresher it is very difficult to get a job. But a lot of people are not doing the proper homework, the proper background work that needs to be done before going into the market, even before passing your university. So these are the things needs to be in place, to get a job easily, to crack this interview. And you don't need to have the paid experience or even like the working experience if you have this sort of pre-built portfolios and stuff, because that's already showcase that, okay, you are capable of executing something at the end of the day. And everyone likes the promotion, everyone likes to do the marketing, and this is the best place to do, to promote yourself 24/7 without any extra efforts, any extra cost. And as I said, like there are so many no-code solutions right now available, like a WordPress or Wix, which you can just go sign up on the platform and build the first version of what does that look like. This don't You don't need to worry about how people are going to think about your website. So these are the steps, you can include, or these are the, I would say, the sections you should have on your website. The first is sort of the career summary. Understand you are in the third year, second year, fourth year maybe, and you should have at least 2 line or 3 line about how was your career. You can talk about you were good in 12th, about in X subject you did XYZ in your 12th standard or even 10th standard, or even you're doing currently in the Indus at Indus, XYZ things. So adding this career summary about talking about from the education perspective, that brings a lot of value. Apologize, I think so there is some background noise going on here. uh, the skills and technology are going to be part of the technical skills you learn. The subjects you also going to include, okay. The subjects you think that's going to be helpful to get or crack the first interview. The about page is sort of the a little bit different than the technical and the social. It is about you, who you are, and what is your personality is about, and how easily someone can understand about you. So that is about the page. The work sample again, at your stage, these are your semester projects, and like the, the projects you are going to do, as I believe everyone need to do the final year project, right? So this is another piece you can include and feel uh, you know confident to talk about these projects at the large scale or even on your website and stuff. Understand you don't have industry experience, but as you learn, as you grow, I think so this is another important piece to include as industry experience. Talk about the testimonial and recommendation. So again, like if you look at my website, or the LinkedIn profile, I ask my faculties to give me the recommendation to talk about how did I perform at Indus, or like how the projects I have worked upon. And the same thing you can do when you go to the industry, when you go into the market, ask to your manager and stuff. But these are the things needs to be uh, in the background of your mind. This is not something magically going to be happen. You need to ask. You need to go ahead and ask. I think so. 5 people are going to say no, but you need to keep going and ask. to them about the testimonial and recommendations. Links to your other work that could count as, let's say, if you are pursuing as a designer, there's a different websites where you can upload your portfolio. uh, the GitHub we are going to talk about, the LinkedIn, or the projects even you upload on the internet. The couple of examples are like the SlideShare. The SlideShare is the platform where you can upload your presentation. Uh, and in each semester, I think so in one or two subjects, you need to present something on individual topics. So put it live, attach this link that, hey, I have done this presentation on this topic. And it's always been helpful because these are the things you need to do when you go to the market or in the industry. And again, sort of the contact us page, a form where someone can submit if they're interested to hire you. Like, think differently rather than going in a way that, okay, I need to go and submit the like in the different links on the website, submit your application. So think differently, let them to come to your website, let them to submit that, hey, we are interested to hire you. So these are the things opens up a lot of things. And that's a second section, is like, tell me why should I have the website. And this is the very important piece of the whole portfolio, and this is the first step uh, you should have that helps you in the Google search. If someone is looking for you, if someone is looking for your background, who you are, that's definitely popular in the top results. As I said, companies can review your website before hiring you, and that showcase a lot of things. And even with your interview, that might not go well, but because of this other pieces you have put in places, that's gonna boost up a lot in the interview process, and that's how you're going to be differentiated from others at the same time. As I said, you can talk about the website, the work you have done to build this portfolio in your interview, right? Otherwise, what are you going to talk about? They're going to ask about your projects, your previous experience, and a lot of other stuff. And this is the place where you can talk about confidently what you have achieved, what you have done. Also, as I said, like sort of the personal brand you can build around uh, this. In universe is that, okay, this is about me, about my work, about my portfolio. You can showcase on like one platform everything, your skill sets, your resume, your about us page, your testimonial, like your thoughts, your independent freedom thoughts you can put online as well. This is another piece also comes in place out of the earn money, which is, it's not going to happen overnight, but sort you need to do a lot of work step by step to create or get through this. And how you can do is, like, when you put the blog, when you put any at a scale, when there's a lot of traffic coming to your website, you can plug and play a lot of things to earn money through your website as well. You can share with your network easily. Hey, if someone wants to connect with you, you can share your website. If someone is interested in you, you can share your and like the testimonial or the recommendation. Just quickly show you the website example. If you had a chance to look at it, it's okay. If not, I'll quickly show you the website. uh, so this is like the section I want to talk about is the skill overview. You can include the different testimonial you might get a chance to work with in the university, or even as a manager in other projects as a freelancing as well. Talk about your the feature projects which going to help you throughout a couple of projects are also my university project. As you can see, the client is Western University and stuff. The other call to action, keep like always, like let's talk about, let's chat or something like that. The different project sections you can include, talking about different technology, different skill sets, that also going to help you in your interview process as well. And you can link each project to the, could be the blog, could be more detailed explanation about the projects. And to be honest, like just copy and paste from your report for now, at minimum. You can put your resume so anyone can download the PDF version from it. And also that's going to be helpful. And as I said, like simple call to action button where someone can link you through different social media, or can just submit if they are interested in. So these are the things you can start with at minimum. And this is the first crucial step to have the website in place. Uh, Okay. So second section I want to talk about is the GitHub, and feel encouraged to put your questions in the chat as well as we go through, and I'll answer all your questions at the end as well. So what is the GitHub? Is sort of the website, sort of cloud-based service that going to help you to store your code. And I encourage everyone, if you're doing any projects, put on the GitHub. Do the syncing on cloud live with your partners or the colleagues, and that's also going to showcase that how much work you do on your day to day. Do not store on your local computer. That's not how things work nowadays. Keep it on cloud, and that's also going to show the spikes of the work you are doing every day on this platform. You also can, on the coding side, let's say if you are working in a team, you might be sending a project in a pen drive. You might be sending a zip on the Google Drive. So these things are not required anymore. You can track and control your changes to the code online. You can review your team members code, and you can do a lot of things. And there are also other like open source projects available which you can just look at, try to connect with them, and see if you can contribute anywhere. You don't need to understand everything, but you just need to start looking these things. You can follow like other developers, let's say from GitHub, Microsoft, Google, LinkedIn, and there are so many other top companies, even Netflix, right? So you can start tracking their developers, understanding what they're doing, and you can also find various code bases even for your projects and stuff. And also the find job is the new section on the GitHub, which is going to help you to find the job as well. And you also can link these things as well, in your portfolio. There are like 40 plus million developers, including 10 million users in 2019, and now the numbers are huge. And every the repository is sort of the code base, and also in a second. So this is the what you're seeing here is the contribution you can make, and even if you're working in a project, this is how it's going to showcase that, okay, this is how much you are working on your projects or anything, right? And that's how also easily people can identify you, the work you're doing, and stuff. So let's look at the review if you never had a chance to see what does that interface look like. And this is sort of an idea where you can put your description, the different social media links and stuff, as well the contribution you can make on your day-to-day basis, and all the repository, for example. This is one of my project, as you see on my website, right? You can put, this is sort of the same report, different folder distribution, explanation and stuff, your resources you might have used to do that, and stuff. So these are the easiest steps to start with, and you always can track your history about the changes you have made on this repo. And even in your project presentation, if you're doing for your final year, these are going to be the good steps to showcase the work in the final presentation, and that's how the project is going to be make you unique, showing that, okay, you're doing something differently here, and tracking everything down. So back to the, so this is another second crucial steps I talk about as a GitHub example. The third platform I would like to talk about is sort of the LinkedIn. Definitely, you might have got a chance to heard from the faculties or any different seminars to talk about, okay, how to set up your LinkedIn profile, why is it crucial, and how it can help you to get your first job. And LinkedIn also helped me to get my first job in India, and also got connected with my co-founder at SpeakAI through LinkedIn as well. So LinkedIn helped me a lot throughout my career to find or identifying the opportunity. That's how I would say. And these are the numbers, like a lot of professionals profile on there. You also can see the alumni, you can track them down, ask questions, ask about the recommendation, if they're working in a company, your dream job, ask them. So a lot of things can help you throughout your 3 or 4 year study, as you start building and keep updating your portfolio, or your work on the LinkedIn. So again, tell me, why should I have? The first thing first is you can search new opportunities, and you can set up the different job alerts from the beginning.
And as I said before, like, a lot of people complain about not getting the job, but the homework needs to be done or should be in place. They don't do it. And these are the things you should be aware of, you should be doing in advance compared to others. You can build your network. You can follow people who are working in the same field, who are posting the different technical challenges, articles and stuff. And you can follow them. Put a comment, don't be shy. Be confident about what you're doing. Even if you don't know, ask the questions in the comment section and stuff. And that's gonna track. Think about, like, as an HR, if they are scrolling a LinkedIn, and if they find you asking different questions on different profiles, so that also going to help you. They might send you a message that, hey, it seems you're looking for an opportunity, let's connect, and anything like that. So another thing is, like, you can easily identify the industry news, which also going to help you in your portfolio, about the recent activity, recent news, recent technology changes, what's happening, let's say, in the Node.js community, what is happening on the AWS, what are the new updates, what are the new challenges, what's going on, are there any conferences, are there any projects you can go, and or even there are so many webinars, or the meetups are happening nowadays. So you can join these things, identifying the news on the LinkedIn as well. Another piece to get a job easily also is to identify in advance these companies you are interested in, your dream jobs. Look for their employees, look for their background as well. Look what's unique they build in their portfolio, what are the projects they are working on, what are the technologies they are working on, and identify the gaps between your profile and the job you wanted to get there. If you're looking differently, if you're thinking differently, and the job is not only the goal, I would also say that think creatively as well. Is like, okay, these are the challenges I wanted to work on, rather than looking for a job. That's also going to help you connect with the smart people as well. So what does that even mean? Is if you want to spend time, let's, on the global warming, or the critical pieces of today's world, and you can identify these people, send them a message that, hey, I want to contribute with you in this project XYZ. So these are the things can help you in advance to build your portfolio as well. Again, like, website is one piece, but these are the pieces where people can easily search you, based on your role, based on the technology, based on your expertise, and let the company finds you. You can display your resume as well. That is also part of the piece I will cover later on, about, like, the resume. And as I showed you on the website, you can put there, and that's the same content you can use, right? You don't need to work a lot of multiple steps. It's a one thing, one time event. Once you do it, that's it. uh, you can enhance your, like, professional reputation by posting updates. As I said, you can put your presentation you have worked on, right? It's like, hey, I worked on this presentation, it was a great experience, blah blah blah. You also can talk about anything differently you have learned. So these are the proof, or the activities that also going to help you to get where you want to go. uh, Again, you also can ask about the recommendation. This is different than the website as well, but I will show you how does that look like, what does that mean. uh, let's look at the LinkedIn profile. The one thing only I want to be clear is, like, as a fresher, as a university student, you wanted to look cool. So don't put any. This is not a Facebook or like any other Instagram places. Make sure you have the professional picture. If not, there are so many smartphones everyone have. So just take a portrait mode picture and just keep your face. I see a lot of people, like, putting their, like, Facebook images. That doesn't work. These are the professional platform. You need to be a little bit more professional here as well. And when it comes to the interview, it's like, okay, I did well in the interview, but when they look at your different social media profile, like LinkedIn or the website, that also brings a lot of credit to the values as well. So for example, you can keep your one liner about what you are doing, what you are up to and stuff. the experience where you can talk about your past projects, the work. For example, I have done in the at Indus was like the Indus Robotics Club, or even like the eSing, which is like sort of the our EC department association we have initiated in, I think so, 2013 or 14, the IEEE. So these are the important things as well, like the robotics club, and we the started as well. And these are the things also going to help you to showcase the work you have done, the training. Let's say the electrotherm is very standard one. So maybe you might be represent the as a representative for like any cell or like IIT Bombay and stuff. So these are the things also count as experience. And in the early career, without any experience, these are the only things you can talk about, right? To be honest, and you should be proud of if so. That's the experience section. Education section, again, you can talk about the different activity, put the proof about the work you have done. That could be the social work, technical work. At the end, it showcases that you're active, you're capable of executing something at the end of the day. There are also like you can get the license and certification freely on the LinkedIn platform. Have this credential, put it there. Link with the certification as well. The voluntary work you might be engaged with, you might be doing, so put it there. Talk about what you're doing. The skills and the technology, you would know. The subjects you can put, it's absolutely fine. There's no right answer to this. The skills could be anything on technical or the social side as well. And as I said, like you should be asked about your faculties, or the projects, and you can put the recommendation. uh, Ask them. Basically what you can do is you can request easily by clicking or ask for the recommendation and tag your faculty. But don't do it crazy. You should be have your tempo with your faculty as well, or like head of department or anyone at campus. Any publication you might have work on, the research projects, those are also the good place to talk about. uh, Always put the publication link. And the courses, like the courses you have to attend as, the projects you are working currently or you might be working in the future. So these are all the good places anyway to talk about your portfolio. And all right. So the projects, that's where we are on. So the projects are like, okay, the semester project is the one piece where you can talk about this contribution you have made to your projects. Talk about in detail as well, like what was the project description, what you have achieved, the images, the screenshots, the process. And if you really want to do differently, you can record a video, put it there, talk about it, and like share it online, and also put as well on your website, resume, LinkedIn, all the places. Also, like focus on the one language. That's what I have found. Because in the campus you learn a lot of different subjects. Let's say if you're in the computer EC, right? You also learning the electronics as well as computer as well as communication subjects. So if you really want to build the portfolio in the programming, if you want to crack your first job, you should learning the one language at a time. And there are so many platforms available nowadays, like the Udemy. Sign up for the course, spend some time there, learn through it. Just follow the same process what instructor is telling you, and like execute those projects. So those are also going to be helpful to understand, to learn by copying things as well in the initial stage. And once you understand that, then ask your question, why are they doing this? If I do differently, how does that look like? If I change these conditions or anything, how does that play the scenario for these projects? The sample projects is another piece where you don't need to be as complex. You can simply create a form, a simple HTML form, where you are submitting details, and that is sending you an email. Hey, thank you for submitting the form. So these are the sample projects you can create. And just like to take a second, like talking about my early career, spending time on robotics to IoT to coming on the full-fledged software engineer. I did a lot of time spending and creating very small projects, to be honest. Start with, let's say how I started the Node.js was typing up the console log, 2 plus 2, how can I do that? The file system reading, you can read through the file, write to the file, same simple HTML form I talk about. Create this integration and go step by step instead of creating the complex project from the beginning. And these are the steps and the process also going to help you when you work on the complex projects as well. uh, the team experience is another piece about in the project. Is like if you're doing in a team your semester or your final year projects, you should contribute and build the whole report in a such a way that what was your unique contribution in this project, what you have achieved, what you have done, what you have accomplished, what are the things you have learned, what are the mistakes you have made. Talk about these things
हाँ
in
हाँ
your
हाँ ठीक
projects
बात
as well,
हाँ
the
डन
configuration
डन
you have done
बोलो
to these
बोलो बोलो
projects.
बोलो
And
बस
these are the things
बोलो
going to help you, not just now but even in the
गाइस गाइस
market, like in
क्या
the
कर रही है
industry. See, the technology, the problems are
हाँ
same
चल रही है चल रही
in a
है
way. Let's say there are, see, let's say if you do the login on Facebook or if you do on Instagram or Amazon, the fundamentals are similar, there's no huge different. But once you understand the fundamental, the things become a lot more easier with any language. Create a report, put some analytics on that as well, like how much time you have spent, track that down, like what are the technologies you learned and how does this process look like. Really apologize for this, it's on the upper floor and it's like very annoying, this background noise. uh, yeah, continuation on that, you can share online about talking this project, as I said. That's also going to help you build the confidence, talk about in the interview about the problems, from the sample projects you have to make, you have learned. And these are the things when it comes to the portfolio are important as well. So in the portfolio there are two sides of it. The one is the work you've done upfront and the work you are doing behind the scene. So the upfront work are like your website, your LinkedIn, your GitHub, your projects, but the behind the scene work is very few people can see. I think it's only you can feel is your confidence, your skill set, your nervousness, going to the interview talking about what you are working on. And make mistakes, make as many mistakes as you can in the at the campus. That's not going to cost you anything. Make sure
हाँ
you
हाँ
pass
एक
your
कलाक
subject,
ये
but other
तो
than that, like in the projects, try to make as many mistakes as you can. You
हाँ
don't need
हाँ
to be perfect in
समझी गई
and for these projects, because
ये
these are the
ये
mistakes going to help you
अच्छा
to
फर्स्ट
learn a
प्रिपरेशन
lot
तो
of
मेरी वीडियो
things
तो मैंने फोन से
when you passed
ये
out from
करना
the
पड़ा
campus.
ये होता
uh,
है
so this is the another link I would like to
हाँ हाँ हाँ
link out.
फुल
It's
सेट
sort of the developer
IBPS
profiles.
नहीं फुल सेट वालों 40
And
छः ना
in
ये
this link,
MVPO बढ़िया
there are like so many
हाँ
people have
हाँ
created the website,
डन
and you are like, okay, how can I do that? What are
हाँ
the
हाँ
samples?
सॉरी
What is
सॉरी
the
सवाल
workflow
पूरा
does
करना
look
था
like?
मैं वीडियो से बोल
And
दूँ
see the
ये
people have
जो मैं
built
कंपेरेटिव तो मैं
and
iPhone
link their
फाइनल होते
website. You can just open up
हाँ
anyone,
अभी नहीं तो
see what they are doing, and there are also so many freshers as well, and like experienced
समझी गई सारी सारी
developers as well.
ओके
So
करिए अपने मैंने
I'll link this. I will share this link as well. Or if you look at my, GitHub ID, you would be able to find the developer portfolio. So these are the samples you can look at. Let's say, I don't know. Let's open up the end review. Right. See the projects. These are the very standard ones where you can talk about your projects, your link, your GitHub, and different sections. The different articles you might be like create a Git repo with an empty commit. Right. These are the very simplistic projects, blog article you can start with, and that is absolutely fine. In the beginning of your career, you might be reading a books, so that is another good section to have in your portfolio. The reason is you might be like, okay, this is technical portfolio, what to do with the books. But when you go to the interview, these are the other unique questions you might get asked about your experience as well, in terms of the books you read, or like the experience you can bring to the table when you are like working on the technical end as well. uh, Almost there. So, so again, like feel encouraged to put your, if you have any questions, uh, uh, in any sections of this portfolio steps, and we'll cover it later.
So I would like to request all the participants to ask their query or any questions to Vatsal.
All right. So what are the next steps? What are you going to do next after this? Sort of 1 hour of section hour. So you can follow the dev community, which are like, you can just search for the dev community in Ahmedabad, and there are so many meetups happening right now. There's a huge AWS community you should be part of if you're interested or not, because it is not about going like, okay, I don't have any AWS experience, I don't even know what does that AWS mean. That is the cloud service, and once you go there, you don't need to be expert from the day one. You just need to be uh, as native as you can. Be a child, ask questions, go there, make a connection, connect with them on LinkedIn, follow their journey, ask about their experience, and when you go in person, that's where you are actually going to grow. From this perspective, and it's like, okay, what you're working, what is your portfolio, what are your projects, and that's where these are all things are connected. They will look at your LinkedIn profile. You can send them your websites and stuff. You can talk about your projects, and that's where you can easily crack this interview and all. Keep adding new skills to your resume and portfolio. I said, like, focus on one language, but do as many different projects as you can. That could be, let's say, starting from very simplistic thing to the complex one, in terms of building the marketplace experience, like the Flipkart or the Amazon. Again, I understand these are the very complex projects, but you don't need to do it from the day one. How you can start, for example, how you can crack down these complex projects. Step number one: think about the bigger picture. So how does this Amazon work? There are section of the login page, there are section of this all this product, there's a section of this category. So now you have this idea about what does that look like. The second thing you can do is like crack down that, okay, how can I display the image with the title and the description, add to cart button, simple as that. Then after that, connect with the different pieces, put them together, have the login section, have the image section, and have the add to cart section. And once you understand that, once you understand the process, and then you can crack down any complex projects, and think about the skills you can learn throughout the process building these different blocks. Self-education is as important as that nowadays. There are so many YouTube channels you can just go and watch. Of course, university education going to help you to learn basics, and that's where the university play a very, very important role, and you don't need to miss that. Learn the fundamentals, get through it, and do all more complex projects through the self-education. As I said, build projects. Definitely get back to you, like, you can spend 15 minutes, 30 minutes to learn or write code. I would really encourage you not to watch, when you watch the video, type up parallelly as well. Just do not watch as a movie. That's not going to help you building your programming experience or the projects. Volunteer your programming skill. Don't look for the money in the beginning of your career. There are so many voluntary projects available as well, where you can just go and contribute. Even just sitting with them, it's also going to help you to learn a lot of things. And that's once you have these blocks, once you work on these projects, once you understand the workflow, how things work, you also can start picking up the freelancing small projects. And again, like, you need to think out of the box about looking at the website, looking at how you could be differentiated from this many smart people in the world. Getting involved in the open source projects or open source community as well. Again, like, progress is power. You should be keep moving. If you even don't understand anything or even everything, no one does. Believe me, you just need to be keep learning every single day. Look at the purpose instead of looking at your excuses. Understand you're coming from, let's say, electronics and communication. You're like, okay, I don't know the Python, or like maybe I don't know the JavaScript. I don't understand what is React. But if you really want to pursue as a front end, as a back end, as a database, or like, building this programming portfolio, the only one thing you need to learn is you don't need to learn the excuses, because there are so many errors gonna come in day to day there are so many bugs going to come when you work on the real projects, and you're like, okay, I can't solve this. That's not going to help you in any way. Just be consistent and focus on your portfolio, on your projects as well. I see in university, this is happening a lot as like taking a responsibility. If you're working in a project, you would blame like, maybe your friends or maybe others. It's like, okay, I told him to do X, Y, Z, but that's not happening. You should be responsible to deal with it. And, if even if your friend might not be able to achieve something, and if you are capable enough, go ahead and take it. Ask him or tell him to how you can work this problem. And you must have the knowledge in the various segment. You can be expert in the one language or the one domain, but you should have experience or have the knowledge in these various segments of the software. uh, sure, you can contact me. You can scan this code if you want. Easily you can subscribe for the blog, and we'll also talk about online the same, different processes, different ideas, different technologies that's help you to get there. And you know feel encouraged to ask questions freely. You don't need to be shy. Have confidence, and ask any questions. And just leave it here. If just scan this code, I really, really appreciate if you put the feedback, and that's gonna help other people to learn through this process as well.
Uh, Thank you very much, Vatsal, for your insightful talk. I'm sure it will be great learning for all the students. Now, I would like to request all the participants to ask their query to Vatsal. Anyone?
Hello.
Yes, Divyas.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
Divesh.
so my question is not about this topic. I want to know that when you are in college and pursuing your engineering, what were your future goals, or what were you preparing with the outside the college? Not engineering, you were electronics and communication, but what else
Mhm.
were you doing in on your college timing to, or the ideas you are having to about your future goals or future
So
ideas?
for sure, like I was doing a lot of things. To be honest, I was being a part, part of the Async Association, where I was like, spending time on the social and the other creative activities as well. I was being a part of the robotics club, and again, like these are off the record from the your day to day in class activity. And in terms of the goal, uh, I was planning to go abroad for my master. That was always been a goal, but that was not happening before like getting the enough experience to understand, okay, what I'm going to study, well, how does that going to helpful. And working even on the new technologies, that's helped me a lot, coming from the robotics to the IoT, getting my first job through the LinkedIn, building this portfolio. So these are the things you can do, you should be doing apart from your day to day at campus. Is that helpful?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Anyone else?
Yes, sir.
sure. Because
So, my question is, how can we initialize a repository in Git?
so these are the steps. I think so. You would easily like search the same question on the Google or the YouTube, or if you don't find it, send me a message. But the steps are very simple. They make it even interface so much easier for new developer as well. And it's like you will see the green sheet here. It's called the create repository. That's it, simple as that. Put your title, what is that repo, and start uploading your projects like a Google Drive as well, and share on different platform as well. So yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, एक और question, one more question. Uh,
Sure, go
so
ahead.
you told to upload our programming projects on the LinkedIn and social media online. So
Mhm.
what if we have done our projects during our secondary schooling and before college? Would we add those in our portfolios, or
Yeah, I mean the project's supposed to be, let's say if you're uploading on the LinkedIn, that's supposed to be on the technical end. If you're uploading on your website, that could be anything. If you even have done some amazing painting, that is also showcase as a developer that you are creative, you have the skill set of thing, differently. And I see a lot, going out of from your comfort zone and looking things differently. So these are the different types of projects you can upload as well. But make sure if you're using on LinkedIn, uh, the pre university projects are at least somewhat technical.
Okay, okay.
Enjoy now.
Yes, anyone else?
Some students have asked question in the chat box.
Okay, just a second. Okay, so Devarshi Pathak, which IoT platform is good for getting the job?
Which IoT platform? I mean, what do you mean IoT platform? Do you have any specific thoughts around that?
Yes, she has mentioned AWS, GCP, Azure. Which IoT platform is good for getting the job?
Okay, okay. So those are called the cloud platform. Those are not the IoT platform. Those are the cloud services from the Amazon, Google, and the Azure, or even IBM Bluemix, where you can do a lot of other stuff. See, in the companies, in the market, in the industry, everyone use the different technologies, different cloud service provider based on the business decision. But if you want to start with, I think so the AWS is very easier to learn the cloud, to learn the DevOps work. What does that look like? How does that help you? And there are also so many certifications available as well on the AWS end. And there are, at the same time, there are so many YouTube free resources available for the AWS certification. And if you have this one, I wouldn't say that's going to help you to get a job. You should be smart enough, but what's going to help you to get is, have build that experience, have that confidence when you go to the interview. And these are the things going to help you to crack the interview as well.
So, what the second question some Mr. Mukesh has asked that I am second year EC students and I am preparing for gate preparation and it is going good. So, how we start this thing since there is a less interest in coding field?
That's a good question, Mukesh. Again, like if you're preparing for GET, seems like you're preparing for your masters, and think about what you're going to do after your masters. Why are you doing your masters in the first place? And what are the things you want to work on even after, having your master degree? So I think so once you have these questions, that's gonna help you a lot to think differently in terms of, if you don't have a interest in coding, I think so let's say out of 100, 60% people might not have interest in coding. That's absolutely fine, but you also need to think about that there are so many sections. For example, architecture, designing, the QA, which is like quality assurance, and these are all sections are connected, the departments are connected with the IT field. When we talk about programming portfolio, understand the programming what it comes to the coding, but at the same time there are so many different sections you can learn, you can have your expertise and experience in. So don't limit yourself thinking that, okay, I can't do coding, I don't have experience, I won't be able to do it. But there are different segments of the IT field you should be part of. We talk about the cloud repo, the Google AWS. If you have the certification, if you understand how this work, you can be a part of it. There's a huge market in the security right now with the IoT one, or in general the cybersecurity place. It's also been a part of this thing as well, right? So there are so many things you can do from this pieces as well.
There is one more question, but so just for knowledge, how can a student balance well on getting practical skills and balance theory for both? So, for instance, you have to pass the exam, but also you need to get some skills. So, how we can manage this?
Right. Okay. I think so it's Daniel. So I mean, you're not doing differently, right? Let's say if you're working on the if you're working on your academic subjects, there are so many things connected with the projects as well, right? Not everything is theory. Understand? Let's say mathematics, or there are a couple of other subjects are theoretical, but like to be honest yourself, how many hours you are spending to prepare for the exams? I can bet what the number is. So you have enough time as a student, you can do a lot of things as well, and you can easily balance. Is not a big deal at a student level to get the practical skills versus the balance, the theory piece. Because if you learn the practical piece, you would, a lot of things would going to be easier for you on the theory section as well. And yeah, And like once you learn the practical skills, the exam is not going to be a bigger deal, for sure.
Yes, anyone else?
I can see one question, I think so, from Hiran Kumar. Any standard certification required for students to join any MNC? To join any MNC, like, the skill set are required is the way you think for the problem. The certification gonna help you maybe to parse for the first round. So what does that mean is, like, when your resume comes to the HR or anyone who are looking or like filtering the resumes, that's the one place where you can make it unique. But once you got a call from the interview, it's all on you, it's all on your skill sets. There's nothing on the paper what you have done can help you. That's definitely going to help you to crack the first piece from the HR there.
Yes, there is two more questions. How the EC students get internship?
Why do you want to get the internship? To get the experience in the market, to work on the projects? What's the goal? Once you have that answer, uh, identifying the internship or doing the project is going to be much more easier. For an example, if you want to go and pursue things in the programming, you don't need internship, you just need the projects and the experience in the different technologies or the different segments. If you want to go differently, you can identify internship. It's like, okay, now also you think about, if I need the internship, what other things needs to be in place. You are like, okay, you go to the companies, like, okay, this is my one pager, I have done these projects, I don't have any online resources, I don't have my websites, nothing. It's like, why someone pick you as an intern in their company? You should create the value for them in the advance, before going there, right? So create your own values before asking to companies to get the internship or anything, and that's going to make a lot easier your life, believe me.
So one more question: is EC engineering completely based on the coding like CSC?
Well, these are the different things. Depends, what is your where do you want to go in terms of, let's say, EC. There are VLSI. There are so many different segments as well. Again, like, the fundamentals are same. If you need to create arrays, different sortings, algorithm, things are same. But the language, the frameworks, the way you write the code, the way you tackle the problems are different, right? Let's say in the CSE, it depends absolutely on the projects. There is no similarity between the codings, right? So think about, like, as a food items, if you make anything, the spices are same, but the outputs are different. Same idea, the technology fundamentals are same, the outputs are depends on the projects.
Is anyone else?
Any questions on any
Okay.
platforms, anything else?
Okay, so thank you very much, Vatsal, for answering all the questions to our participant. Moving ahead, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce respected Dr. Ishbi Singh sir, Director of IIT Indus University. Dr. Ishbi Singh sir is a seasonal professional in academia and administration with strong educational background. Sir has more than 19 years of academic, administrative, and industrial experience. Sir is actively involved in academics, administration, projects, technology transfer, career development, training and placement, admissions, research, foreign collaboration, branding, and the list goes on. So now I would like to take this opportunity to invite Dr. Ishbi Singh sir, Director of IIT, for closing remarks. Sir.
Thank you, Miloni ma'am, for such a wonderful introduction. Normally it is said the longer the introduction, the smaller the person is. And thanks to our guest and the speaker of the day, our own alumni, Vatsal. Thank you, Vatsal.
Thank you, sir.
Very proud to see our alumni growing across the world, and you are one of the perfect examples of that. The way you are, welcome. The way you have touched the website part, how to build the portfolio, career summary, skills, technology. You told about the page, work samples, projects. This is something where our academia is, I won't say is failing. I would say we need to press a button, accelerator button, where these gaps can be addressed, and people like you, alumni, like you who are working with the industry can help us in bridging these gaps. You have a major contribution in taking these universities forward. The industrial experience and exposure you have shared, testimonials, recommendations, links to a work, especially you were telling about LinkedIn, how you were tapped by the industries through your LinkedIn page, contact page. That is something wonderful where professionals need to be groomed and our students need to come up. And the photographs you shared where you showcase your projects, you were in the news. I was really happy to see all those things, your achievements during your stay with Indus. The GitHub, LinkedIn, networking part, latest industry news, all these things you have really touched all the pain areas or the emerging areas, the points where sometimes we keep on saying, but it is normally said, "Ghar ki murgi dal barabar hai." So they'll listen more to you, maybe less to us, but it's good that you have made them realize the importance of these things in today's world of work, especially the LinkedIn part projects. It was good to have you, and we would request to keep on guiding us, the students, through various mediums. I would request even all the students plus organizers to share the database with each other so that these contacts are permanent, and whenever any alumni or any present student of Indus needs any kind of help, then Vatsal can be a useful resource. Right, Vatsal?
Absolutely, sir. Anytime.
On your behalf,
Available on, yeah, for sure. Available on any platform. So
great.
anytime if you can.
That's good. And I would request all the attendees to be in touch with Vatsal, keep on ping him, keep on contacting him. And the question may be foolish, but the way he has addressed, I think he'll be able to address all the kind of queries. Mukesh has some question. Please answer my last question. Sir, I want to do masters from VLSI side. So which type of internship should I do for helping me in VLSI in masters?
Sure, sir. Mukesh, I think so. For the VLSI segment, that's not where my expertise comes in place. But I would really encourage to chat with either Mironi ma'am or Sangshar to link with someone who is working in the VLSI industry, because these things are very different than the programming end or the software side. So I would definitely guide you in the right direction rather than answering anything. So I think so. Or even if you don't find anyone, I do have a couple of friends who are working at Intel or in Bangalore in the VLSI segment, and I can definitely put you in contact with them. So those are also the Indus alumni as well.
Right, Vatsal, thanks you for being part of this alumni talk, and this series, all the engineering departments will be continuing. So again, thanks for being part of this, and thanks to the organizers and all the attendees. Over to you, Miloni ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your words of wisdom. Now, at the end, on behalf of Indus University, I would like to express my sincere thanks to respected Dr. Ishbi Singh, sir, Director of IIT, for encouraging us to conduct the various type of activities for upgradation of the knowledge. Sir is always there for us to help and guide us. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Vatsal for his precious time for our beloved students and participants. I am also very grateful to Dr. Vrushank Shah, sir, for his constant support. A big thank you to all the participants and students. Now I would like to request all the participants to fill up the feedback form. The link of the feedback form is pasted in the chat box. Thank you all. Thank you, Vatsal.
Thank you very much, Vatsal, for sharing your experience and knowledge with the students.
Absolutely, sir. It's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Rusang, sir. Thank you so much, Pironi ma'am.
Thank you.
Kabir, sir. Thank you so
Vatsal.
much.
So again, I would like to request all the participants to please fill up the feedback form.